Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me make sure. Here we go. All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. So I am super, super excited to be sharing about the upcoming Healers Retreat, all about protecting your peace in beautiful Bali, May 9th through 16th. And so, welcome whether you are joining live or watching a copy of the recording. I am just so grateful that you, as a woman who helps and heals, are ready to prioritize your mental health and your well being and joining us or potentially joining us next May in Bali. And so we are going to talk about this beautiful experience. We'll pause for questions and then we'll end our time together with a sound bath experience to send you on your way feeling really grounded in peace and just getting you in that space of protecting your peace. I believe that now more than ever, it is imperative that we protect our peace. It's imperative that we protect our energy. And it's imperative that we have tools that allow us to feel grounded, to feel safe within, and to ultimately feel peaceful so that we can continue to do this great work of helping our clients and communities heal. And so, with that, welcome, 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 friends. And so, with that, let's get into it. So, if any questions come up, so if you're watching here live, we'll pause for questions at the end. Feel free to drop them in the chat box or the Q&A box. If you're watching a copy of the recording, you can send us an email at retreats@linneasmithcrawford.com, and we will make sure we get your questions answered. And so, with that, let's get into it. So, first, I want to introduce myself. For those of you who haven't been in my ether, I am a licensed therapist with over a decade of experience in the mental health and wellness space. I'm also a holistic healer. I'm an advanced certified yoga, meditation, and breathwork teacher. I'm also a sound healer. And my husband and I have actually owned a yoga studio in Atlanta called Seven Yoga. We've owned that studio for 8 years, but we've been in Kirkwood specifically for 7. And I also have a group practice that I have been running for about 8 years now. As a teacher, I train and certify all levels of yoga teachers. I train and certify meditation teachers, breathwork facilitators, and sound healers. And one of my favorite things to do is to train and certify holistic therapists and healers. As a mental health expert, I've had the honor of having my work featured on some pretty cool platforms and the ability to work with some pretty cool organizations. A few of my favorite are the New York Times, the Huffington Post, Healthline, Essence, Therapy for Black Girls at UCLA, and Spelman and Morehouse College. I am a proud Spelman alumna. I'm also a business coach and mentor. So, with over a decade of experience as an entrepreneur, I really love helping therapists and healers expand outside of traditional therapy and one on one work into things like retreats and courses and all the things. And then finally, and I think most importantly, I am a human. It is Virgo season. I am a Virgo. I've lived in Atlanta for a little over 14, going on 15 years now. I am a first generation American. My family migrated over from Jamaica. And then being near the ocean, being on the beach is where my soul feels most at home. So nice to meet you all. And so the work that I do is really rooted in taking a holistic approach to mental health, self care, and business. I truly believe in a world where we all have the capacity to heal and return to wholeness through a holistic approach to our healing in everyday lives. And so this holistic approach is also very much so integrated into the Healer's Retreat because I believe that in order for us to truly heal, self care, and live our best and most favorite lives, we have to integrate all layers of who we are. And so, the question that I pose, one of the reasons I created this retreat experience is because I posed the question, who heals the healer, right? And so, the Healer's Retreat is specifically for women who help and heal. And so, that could be many different professions. That could mean you're a therapist, you're in healthcare, It could mean that you're an entrepreneur. It can mean you're a nurse, you're a social worker, you're a teacher. If you are in a position where you are helping your community heal, or you're helping them in some capacity, this is for you. If you are a woman who is constantly and continuously pouring and giving to your clients and your communities, this retreat is for you. And so when you're in the seat of helper and healer, you often put the needs of your clients, your communities, your students, and what have you above your own, right? We've been taught to kind of put ourselves on the back burner. And so I'm a big believer that we can only take our businesses, our clients, our communities as far as we have gone. And it's really time for us as women who help and heal to pour back into our cups and to ultimately drink as we pour. And so this is the core premise and the core reason why the retreat was created. We've been able to go to some really cool places over the years, but this is one of the core and foundational principles of the Healers Retreat. And so if you're like, listen, girl, I've been pouring, I've been giving, and my cup is depleted, or I'm noticing my cup is starting to deplete, this retreat is for you. And I'm so passionate about we as women who help and heal prioritizing our well-being, because I have been there. I have found myself burnt out, depressed, and super disconnected from my purpose. I have been in a space where I woke up one day, I've built this, beautiful career, and I'm like, girl, I'm tired, right? Like, I don't have the energy to even enjoy the fruits of my labor. And so from that experience, I really began to be more intentional about prioritizing my self-care and healing and taking a holistic approach to what that looks like. So integrating all layers of who I am, the physical, energetic, mental, emotional, spiritual, and communal layers, and also integrating practices that allowed me to create the space to just be, right? When you're in the position of pouring and giving, having the space to just be feels slim, right? And so this retreat is really designed to help you integrate, but also creating the space and giving you the space to just be and to focus on you and nothing and no one else. And another beautiful thing about being in a retreat where you're surrounded by women who help and heal, they get it. They understand what it's like to constantly give and pour. And so when you're in communities like that, you really start to realize, like, okay, I don't have to worry about, my new retreat mate. I don't have to put on my therapist or my healer or my healthcare hat. I can just be my human, authentic self. And so, why is it important to protect your peace? Listen, y'all, the world feels like it's on fire, may very well be on fire. Okay. There's constantly things happening, there's chaos all around us. And yet, our clients still need us, our communities still need us, the people that we serve still need us. And so, when we're in this space of protecting our peace, it really is about being able to find the calm amongst the chaos. It's about being able to regulate our nervous system, regulate our emotions, regulate who we are in the face of adversity, right? And being able to co-regulate, being able to hold space for others while we're also holding space for ourselves. And so now more than ever, y'all, our communities really need to lean on our strength and our ability to hold space for peace. And they can't do that if we're not honoring our own peace, right? And so it's really important that we cultivate the skills to engage in practices that protect our peace, but also to create boundaries around protecting our peace. And these are the things that we'll talk about and learn about and integrate and experience at the Healers Retreat, Protect Your Peace in Bali. And so we're celebrating 3 years of the Healers Retreat. So a couple of the places that we've been in Belize, we've gone to Mexico, the jungles of Tulum specifically. And then our last retreat was in Costa Rica last year. It was all about embodying joy. It was really, all of the experiences I think were amazing. But these are the places that we have been. And now we are getting ready to go to Bali, May 9th through 16th. And this is the dry season in Bali, which means it's beautiful weather, sunshine, not a whole lot of rain, if any. So it's a really great time to be on that side of the world. And so yeah, let's get ready to protect our peace in Bali. So when we talk about holistic self-care or taking a holistic approach, again, this is also the foundation of the Healer's Retreat. And so we honor the physical layer by doing movement and yoga practices and having nutritious meals. We honor the energetic layer by breath work. We have breath work practices. We also have sound baths. We honor the emotional and mental layer by having journaling, workshops, time for introspection and integration, and also just experiences, right? And then we honor the spiritual layer by having sister circles. We have a release ceremony and really whatever you deem spiritual. A lot of times being in solitude and being in peace and quiet can be a spiritual experience. And there will be plenty of time for that. Also being in a very beautiful environment kind of helps to integrate or to access that layer. And then finally, the communal layer, being with like-hearted, intentional community, but also things like excursions. In this retreat, we have three included excursions in your ticket price. And so you will not only be in this beautiful, small, intimate, luxury resort, but you will also get to get out and experience some of the beautiful things in Bali. And so again, what to expect at the Healer's Retreat. And in a second, I'm going to bring up our retreat coordinator, Shantina, and she's going to share a little bit more about the logistical pieces and some of the specific experiences in Bali. And so what you can expect, again, gentle yoga, breathwork, sound bath practices, release ceremonies, sister circles and workshops, a beach day, cultural experiences. We'll also do a 2-temple tour as well. And this retreat also includes a 30-minute massage. Woo! So all this is included in your ticket price. And so this is just a general overview of our retreat schedule. It's not set in stone, but this kind of gives you an idea of where we're going. The first day is our welcome day. You'll have your private airport shuttle or taxi provided in your ticket entry as well. You'll get a chance to settle into your room, and then we'll have an opening ceremony and group dinner. Day 2 is all around centering. So we'll start the day with a yoga or breathwork practice. You'll have time to eat, time to relax and integrate. And then we have our intention setting circle and dinner. Day 3, we'll explore. We'll actually get to explore quite a bit on this retreat. So day 3, you get to explore. Again, we start the day with a practice. You get to have breakfast. And so day 3 could be beach day, but we have 3 excursions. One of them is a secluded beach day. Dinner and evening sound bath. Day 4, again, we open with a practice. You have breakfast, group excursions, time to integrate, and then an evening healer circle. Day 5 is releasing, again, starting with a morning practice, breakfast, time for integration, healer circles, and dinner. Day 6, opening practice, breakfast, group excursion, and dinner. And then 7 is all about integration. So we really want to make sure that we create space for you to be able to integrate all the things that you're learning and all the experiences you have. So there is downtime integrated into the schedule. And then we'll have our group dinner, our closing circle and celebration, and then farewell day on day 8. And so this is an 8-day retreat. We'll have a morning practice, time to eat, time to pack, and then we'll say our farewells or see you laters rather. And then you'll be able to get on your private shuttle or taxi provided in your retreat ticket. So our stay in Bali, we will be staying at Soulshine Bali, which is a 5-star luxury resort. So barefoot, I mean, you can wear your shoes, y'all, but barefoot meaning it's like it's integrated into nature, but it is a 5-star luxury resort. It is a beautiful space, okay? Where joy is served daily and shoes are entirely optional. A place where people from all over the world come together to soak in the beauty of Bali, share unforgettable meals, move to the rhythm of great music, make friendships that last a lifetime, all while the support of a team whose smiles are as genuine as their hearts. The folks that we've been in communication with in Bali are absolutely amazing, super sweet, super welcoming, and we know that they're going to take really good care of us. And so here's just a couple of images of what the rooms can look like, or do look like rather. Okay, beautiful. It's gorgeous. Also, nourishing meals. Here's just some examples of some of the nourishing foods and meals that they provide. These pictures are directly from the packet that they give us in their website. So we can expect this. So are you ready to join us in Bali? Well, before we get to this stuff, I think I might have, here we go. Before we get to that, I want to bring Shantana up so we can talk about things to know about Bali. And then we'll talk about how much it's going to cost. And maybe we'll start there now. Shantana, I'm going to put you up in a second. So let's just go through this real quick. So we are running a heavily discounted special. So because you joined the wait list or because you're on the wait list, we are doing a $1,500 discount. And if you're like sold, you can scan this QR code, take a picture. If you're watching a copy of the recording, you just put your camera up and it'll take you directly there. And so double occupancy is just $3,750 with a deposit of $500. So this is the total amount due, including the deposit is $3,750. And then your single room is just $5,000 with a $500 deposit. Again, the full cost is $5,000. The full cost is $3,750. And so you can pay in full for sure, and there are paid in full bonuses. But if you decide to submit your deposit, we will follow up with you via email and we'll curate a customized payment plan that works for you. We would like to have all payments in by April 15th. That's less than a month out from our departure date. And so some of the retreat bonuses are, we do a welcome call and practice. So before we even get to Bali, we get to know each other. We do a welcome call. There's also a group check-in 1 month after the retreat. So once the retreat ends, all is not over. We come back together. We share about how we've been able to integrate after the Bali retreat and see how we can continue to support you. You get a welcome gift, affirmation cards, journals, all the things. We have a private WhatsApp group channel that so you can chat with current retreat attendees. And if CEs are your thing, you get up to 10 CEs for counseling licenses. Okay. Oh, also, this does fall on or around Mother's Day. And so if you're coming with your mother or your daughter, we are giving you an additional bonus. And this is my mommy. She comes with me on all my retreats, or most of them, the ones that I've been leading single-handedly. And so if you come with your daughter or your mother, you'll receive a private post-retreat integration session with me to continue to help support you on your journey of just deepening your bond and deepening your relationship. And so this will be private. So just you and your mom, or you and your daughter and me, and we'll do a post-retreat integration session. So definitely, bring the moms, bring the daughters, bring the sisters, bring the friends. And so when you pay in full, of course, everyone receives all those other bonuses, but when you pay in full, you also receive a 1-year membership to the Holistic Healing Circle, which is a self-care platform for women who help and heal. You have a growing library of over 100 practices, and we have live practices each month as well. So again, what's included? Your accommodations are included. Your meals are included, except for on excursion days. We have a cultural dinner with traditional dancing excursion. We have a 2-temple tour. We'll be visiting 2 temples in Bali. And we also have a private beach day, as well as a 30-minute foot massage. All of that is included, okay? Your airport transfers are also included. So what's not included is your round trip airfare. So you are responsible for getting to Bali. You're also required to have travel insurance. We recommend World Nomads. Of course, you need your passport, and any optional activities you'd like to add on. So again, we include 3 excursions. 3 excursions plus a 30-minute foot massage is included in that discounted ticket price that we just talked about. And if you'd like to book any excursions outside of those 3 and outside of that massage, that's of course not included. and transportation outside of group activities. So we provide all the transportation to and from the resort, as well as to the excursions and back to the resort. But anything outside of that is not included. So again, just to recap, we're heavily discounting it, $1,500 off. $1,500 off, and you can scan this QR code. Of course, we'll send you information if you're here live. If you're watching the recording, you should be able to just click the button below. And again, $3,750 for double occupancy. That's total, and $5,000 total for single occupancy. All right, so let's talk a little bit about things to know about Bali. And I'm going to bring up our retreat coordinator, Shantana, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the cool things about Bali, some of the things to expect. And then we'll pause for questions, and then we'll get into our sound bath experience. All right, so Shantana is here. All right, and then Shantana, I'll make you a co-host so you can turn your camera on. Let's see, are you here? There you are.
I'm here.
Okay,
can you see me? You can hear me?
See, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you see the slides on your screen?
Yeah, I can see.
So can you click the screen and see if it moves? If not, I'll just do it. I'll just wait till you stop talking and I'll do it for you.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, well, introduce yourself to the people, and then.
Yes, I'm excited. I was listening to everything you were saying, and it made me excited all over again. But I'm Shantana, and I actually studied under Linnea. I was a mentee of hers. I also have my yoga teaching certification, and I was grateful and very blessed to teach at Seven Yoga Studio for quite some time. And I'm happy to be joining everybody on this retreat. I think I know it's going to be an amazing experience. One, just under everything that Linnea does is always amazing, and I'm always grateful to be a part of it. But Bali is such a beautiful place. So let's talk a little bit about preparing for Bali. It is a long haul, depending on where you're coming from. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to prepare everybody for is the flying time. Depending on where you're coming from, it could be anywhere from 20 to close to 30 hours, depending on what flight you decide to book for yourself. And preparing for that a couple days ahead of time is best practice. Just my recommendation. I've gone once before and had an amazing experience, but the hardest thing is the flying time. So preparing for the flight a couple days before, if you're able to adjust your sleeping schedule, is definitely recommended. If you're able to pack yourself some comfort items that you need for the flight, it's really important. Compression socks are really important for the flight because it is a long flight, and you want to, obviously make sure that you're comfortable throughout your flight. But the flying time is something that I just want everyone to make sure you prepare for, make sure you're hydrated, make sure you pay attention to the difference in the time, whether you're coming from the East Coast or the West Coast, to help yourself prepare. But Bali itself is such an amazing place. Once you get off the plane, you get there, you feel the energy of the island. It's infectious. Like you can't deny the energy of Bali. And I think it's such a beautiful space to be able to host and have this retreat at. It's fairly simple once you get to Bali and go through immigration. I know a lot of questions about visa requirements have come, but you can get a visa on arrival, or you can actually do an electronic visa ahead of time. Either way, it's fairly simple. An e-visa, you would actually go online, submit your information, your passport, and pay the fee, which is $35, or you can actually do it once you get there, a visa on arrival. It's fairly simple. And you pay your $35 for your visa on arrival once you get there. There are no vaccinations that are required for you once you book your ticket, or there isn't anything you have to worry about as far as vaccines or anything like that. It's making sure that your own personal health is what you take care of. So any medications that you know that you need to bring on a daily basis, make sure you pack those and have those with you. Anything that you know that you need for the flight to keep yourself comfortable, make sure you bring that with you as well. And that's really the main thing, is making sure you have what you need for yourself for the flight, as well as once you get over to Bali, to make sure that you're comfortable, acclimated, and able to enjoy yourself as much It's possible, obviously. Exchange rates vary, but obviously bringing US dollars or euros is the ideal for your exchange rate. The exchange rate that's right now in 2025 could very well change in 2026, but we'll obviously make sure to keep you all updated with anything that changes as far as exchange rates and money to bring. But there are ATMs all throughout Bali. I've never had an issue accessing an ATM and pulling out any additional money that I needed while I was in Bali. So you should not have any issue as long as you inform your bank that you're traveling to Indonesia. You shouldn't have any issues if you need to stop at an ATM and pull out any additional money for yourself. And oh, yes, flight prep and packing essentials. Definitely make sure your passport is valid. That's the other thing. You have to make sure that you have 6 months on your passport. So take a look at your passport, see what that expiration date is, because you do have to make sure you have 6 months remaining active on your passport. And again, the e-visa is something that you can do ahead of time, or you can do your visa on arrival. Copies of your ID or your passport is nice to have when you're traveling somewhere like Indonesia or anywhere you're going to internationally. It's nice to just have a copy of it on you, pack it in your carry-on, just keep a copy of it just in case. And Bali does have different plugs. So you have to make sure you have your travel adapter to convert for you to be able to charge your items. So it's a type C and type F, and then a 230V adapter. And you can order those on Amazon. I found one at Walmart as well, but they're fairly easy to get. But that's something that you want to make sure you have so that you can charge all of your devices and stay connected. And a reusable water bottle is also nice to have. So getting around and going through Bali, you don't want to drink the tap water. You want to make sure that you're refilling from a source that is filtered, and carrying around a reusable water bottle is definitely something that's useful throughout Bali, because you can find different places where you can refill your water bottle with filtered water. And of course, again, any medications that you need for yourself, don't forget your medications. Those are really, really important. And packing clothes and attire that you're going to be comfortable in, that's lightweight, that will allow you to have some breathable room as you're going throughout the temples. It's really important that you are covering your knees and your shoulders. So bringing a wrap or something that can keep you covered and keep you comfortable as you're going in and out of the temples is really important. But also making sure that whatever you're bringing is breathable and comfortable, because it does get hot in Bali. It's great that we're going during dry season, but it does get hot in Bali. So making sure you're packing clothing that is light and breathable is definitely essential. And because it is a long flight, definitely want to make sure you bring something that helps you sleep. So if that's an eye mask, whatever you need for yourself to be able to sleep comfortably, I definitely recommend an eye mask, and possibly earplugs. And you can order all of those off of Amazon, of course, or Target or Walmart or whatever your preferred place is to have the essentials that you need. And yeah, that's the pre-flight prep. Again, the time difference is the biggest thing. So if you're able to adjust your sleep pattern a little bit before, maybe 2 to 3 days before, try to get a couple extra hours and adjust your time according to Bali. Again, whether you're coming from the East Coast or the West Coast, adjusting your sleep time is really going to help you with that time adjustment once you get to Bali, because it is such a huge difference in time. The culture in Bali, they are so very, very prideful on embracing their culture and respecting their religion, and really just integrating everything into their everyday life. So you'll see offerings all throughout Bali. They leave them outside of each other's homes, they leave them outside of businesses, along the streets, in front of temples. You're going to see these beautiful floral weave baskets with different offerings all throughout. And that's their offering to their gods, to the deities, to show gratitude and respect to the island. And it's really something that's so beautiful to see. It's really important that you show respect to those things as you go throughout Bali. Step over them when you see them. admire them, grab picture, video. They're beautiful to see, and they're all throughout. And it's such a beautiful place, and the culture in Bali is so infectious. Like I said, as soon as you get off the flight, once you really touch the land of Bali, you feel it, and it's so inspiring, and it's just so beautiful. I've mentioned previously that you want to make sure you dress to cover your shoulders and your knees when you're going to the temples, because again, it is a respect thing out of just respecting their culture, respecting their religion, carrying a wrap or a sarong or whatever that you need to make sure you can stay covered when you're going to the temples is really, really important. And the right hand is a thing. So using your right hand when you're giving something or receiving something from people in Bali, it's really important for just showing respect. So paying attention to that. Affection is something that is frowned upon in Bali. So you know, making out, kissing, things like that is not really something that you see much in Bali. So just keeping in mind that you want to be respectful of their culture and of their religion as you're going throughout, going throughout Bali. Shoes are really important that you take off. They are very much respectful of their homes, of their spaces, and removing your shoes before you enter homes and temples is a really, really key part of their culture. And we want to make sure we respect their culture, respect their religion. So being mindful of that, of course, removing your shoes before entering anyone's home or entering any of the temples is really important. And yes, don't step on the offerings. There's so many amazing facts about Bali. Being the island of the gods, again, is a major part of their culture, and just respecting their religion and understanding that they do pay a lot of respect to their gods and to their deities that um, they practice in everyday life, every single part of the island, whether you're in Bali or Jakarta. They pay a lot of respect to the gods and the deities throughout Bali. So that is a really, really big part. And the birth order of their names is something that I had to learn while I was there. So you'll meet a lot of people with the same name because it has to do with the order in which they're born into their family. So their first child is YN. You'll hear that a lot. You'll hear Maid, Mod, um, and I'm probably butchering these names because it's been a long time, but there is a birth order in which they name each individual in Bali. So you will hear a lot of the same names over and over again, and it just is a part of their culture and their religion. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And you'll see so many beautiful trees, flowers, birds. It's just such a beautiful place with such lush, beautiful landscaping, and it's 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 such a sight to see. So this starling bird is the only it's the only you can only see this particular bird species in Bali, and it's such a beautiful bird. I got to see it when I was in a tour of one of the rice fields, and I was awestruck by it. So I put this on here because I really hope that we get to see these, because you can only see them in Bali. So that's really, really a cool feature to see all of the beautiful lush landscaping. Bali belly, that is the biggest thing in Bali, is the Bali belly. So I mentioned making sure you have a refillable water bottle so that you can keep filtered water, because you don't want to drink from the tap water. Bali belly is something that happens to travelers who are sometimes having cross contamination through either not washing their hands or drinking from tap water or drinking tap water. So be mindful of that. I really don't want anybody to experience that. But carrying any medications that you need, if you know that you have a sensitive stomach to things, is really important. And they do recommend like probiotics, antacids, and activated charcoal to kind of help calm your stomach. But Bali belly, it's definitely a thing. So just be mindful of the water that you're drinking and keeping your hands clean. And their food is definitely amazing. So the culinary specialties to put on there. I enjoyed exploring different varieties of the food while I was in Bali, and these were some of the things that I really enjoyed, but also some of the items that are really particular and specific to their culture. So you'll see a lot of these items on menus. The roasted suckling pig was something that was really cool to see. It is a whole pig that you'll see, but their food is really good, and it's really made with care. They use quite a bit of banana leaves in their culinary specialties, whether they're using it as a plate or whether they're using it as a wrap. Their food is something to see because they really put on a beautiful display aesthetically for you to enjoy, but the flavors of the food have been really good. So,
Thanks.
and yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited too. Thank you so much, Shantana. If you could just like stay up here with me, just in case folks have questions like logistically. Okay, let me see. Can y'all see me too? Add spotlight. I guess we both. Okay, anyway, now everyone can see both of us. So again, everything is included in your travel except for your airfare, any additional excursions that you want to have, and of course that visa that Shantana talked about. You want to make sure that you cover those things. And of course, you definitely want your travel insurance. Where do we fly into? This Den Passar, is that the right one? Denpasar International Airport, but do not book your flights until we give you the go ahead, right? So once you submit your deposit or you pay in full, we will send you out packing lists and we'll make sure that you're fully prepared. But please do not book your flights until we give you the go ahead, and we'll make sure that you have all the proper information. And once you book your flight, we will collect that flight information to make sure that your taxi is there, your private taxi is there for you at pickup. I think Shantana talks about all the things, the water. Is there Wi-Fi on site at Soulshine Bali? Yes. And then Shantana also talked about the different chargers. So it's kind of redundant there. Here are a few testimonials from past retreat attendees. This was truly an eye-opening event for me. This retreat encouraged me to go out of my comfort zone, and Linnea's welcoming spirit eased me into accepting, cultivating a life that can be filled with joy, freedom, and abundance. The Healers Retreat was everything that I didn't know that I needed. It was the perfect balance between rest, relaxation, and connection and community. Highly recommended. And the Healers Retreat allowed for a safe space to really dive deep into inner growth and work for the healers in the world. And so if you want to hear or see some more testimonials from our past retreats, they are on our website, and we'll make sure you have all that information sent out via email, or if you're watching a copy of the recording, you can see it all below. All right, so I hope that you're ready to join us at the Healers Retreat in Bali, May 9th through 16th. This was us in, I think this was Mexico. This was us in Mexico. And so I want to pause here to see if there are any questions about joining us in Bali this May. Any questions that you have about anything that we talked about, any questions that will help you make the most informed decision for you before we close out with our sound bath. And so as a gentle reminder, if you're like, yeah, girl, I'm ready, just scan this QR code. It'll take you directly to the payment page for you to submit your deposit and or pay in full. And remember, y'all, we've got 3 excursions included, 30-minute foot massage. All of that is included in that heavily discounted rate like I talked about before. And so pausing here to see if there are any questions at all. We try really hard to answer most of the questions that come up through these info sessions, but I'm going to talk really slowly to see if there are any questions before we get into our sound bath experience. All right, so if there are no questions, let's get into it. So I am All right, let's get into it. So, Shantana, I'm just going to move you back to what you call it. Let's see, spotlight. There we go. And then back there. Okay, awesome. So, wherever you are, I am going to invite you to get into a really comfortable position. And again, I hope that you'll be able to join us next May. And so just begin to just find a comfortable position, whatever position that feels most comfortable for you. And as you make your way into this position, I invite you to close your eyes if that feels safe for you. You can also keep a low gaze, staring down at the tip of your nose. And so with your eyes closed or with a low gaze, just begin to notice your breath. Simply beginning to notice your natural pattern of breathing. And gently just noticing your inhales and your exhales. And just beginning to notice the breath as it flows in and out without the need to constrict or control. And so as you continue to be here in your body and with your breath, I invite you to take a moment to affirm, I am safe. I am held. It is safe to be here in my body and with my breath. And so as you continue to affirm this safety within, let's find a point of grounding and connection. And so maybe you can press the soles of your feet more firmly into the ground beneath you. Maybe you can allow your sit bones to just feel a little more heavy, really allowing yourself to feel supported. Maybe you can press the palms of the hands, maybe into the legs, maybe one hand over the heart, the other hand over the belly. And so wherever you are, just find a point of grounding and connection. Allowing this to be your anchor along with your breath. And then maybe you affirm, I am grounded. I am rooted. I am connected to earth. Taking time to be here with my breath reminds me that God is in everything. I am fully in tune with my breath. I am fully present in this moment. I am grounded. And so as you continue to feel into these affirmations, I invite you to become even more intentional with your breathing. Maybe you begin to take longer and fuller inhales beginning to notice the belly expanding. Maybe you can take slower and more intentional exhales, allowing the body to begin to soften. Softening more deeply into the position that you chose. And maybe you can soften through the shoulders, really drawing them down the back. Maybe you can soften through the jaw. And then maybe notice the tongue. Notice if it's at the roof of the mouth and seeing if you can release it. Softening through the face. Softening through the brow. Just allowing your entire being to be soft. And so as you continue to be fully present in this space, in tune with your body, your breath, your energy, your spirit, as you continue to soften more deeply into this moment, just gently take a moment to lean into and to picture, what does peace look like for you? When you picture yourself being peaceful or being in peace, what does that look like? And what does that feel like? To be in this space of peace, to be in this position of peacefulness. So just take a moment to picture and to feel into what peace looks like and feels like for you. Continuing to notice your breath, continuing to lean into your peace, and just continuing to notice whatever it is that's coming up for you. Just noticing without judgment or expectation. And just simply allow whatever it is to come and then go. Leaning into what serves you and what resonates, and simply releasing the rest. And so, wherever you are, take one more moment to fully immerse yourself in what your idea of peace looks like and feels like for you. And then maybe you gently take a moment to affirm, I am worthy of my peace. I am worthy of protecting my peace. And so, wherever you are, gently placing your hands in towards heart center and just allowing those affirmations to fill you up. I am worthy of my peace. I am worthy of protecting my peace. Wherever you are, take a deep inhale through the nose. Pause with the breath at the top. Maybe sipping in just a little bit more air. And then open mouth, sigh it out. And then gently returning to your natural pattern of breathing, your natural pattern of breath, and gently inviting in some movement. And then whenever you feel ready, finding stillness, and if your eyes were closed, slowly blinking them open and just taking a moment to look up and around the room first, and then up at the screen as you feel ready. And so I hope that was a moment for you to lean into your peace and to remind yourself that you are worthy of peace and you're worthy of protecting your peace. And if you need support on that journey of protecting and cultivating your peace, we would love for you to join us in Bali, May 9th through 16th, 2026. And it's all about cultivating and protecting your peace. Again, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, whether you're here live or watching the recording. And if you don't remember anything else, remember that you are worthy of the time it takes to nourish your soul. And I look forward to welcoming many of you into our retreat next year or in 2026. Have a beautiful rest of your day. See you all.